If you hesitate when you speak English, it doesn't mean you're bad at English. It means your brain is working. When you speak a second language, your brain needs a little time. Time to think, time to choose the right words, time to build the sentence. That pause you make, that's not failure. That's processing, okay? Now, let's be clear about one important thing. There are two kinds of hesitation. The first one is healthy hesitation. Healthy hesitation happens when you're thinking about what you want to say. You're fixing your sentence, or you're choosing a better word. This kind of hesitation is perfectly okay, all right? Even native speakers do this all the time. The second one is unhealthy hesitation. This is when you're afraid of making a mistake. You judge yourself while you're speaking, or you stop thinking because of stress. This hesitation is not about English, it's about fear. So, no, we are not trying to remove hesitation, we are trying to remove fear. Okay, if you pause while speaking English, that's okay. What matters is that you keep going. One of the biggest problems English learners face, especially at A2 to B2, is shame. Shame about pausing, shame about thinking, shame about not sounding fluent enough. But let me be very clear. Pauses are not the problem. Hesitation, self-correction, and fillers like let me think, okay, are not signs of weak English. They are signs of active learning. When you pause, your brain is working. When you correct yourself, you're learning. When you use fillers, you're keeping the conversation alive. That's a good thing. The real damage happens when people tell you that fluency means speed. You have to speak fast. You must sound perfect all the time. That pressure is fake. Real communication is not about being perfect. It's about being understood. And this video is not here to make you speak faster. It's here to make you feel safer when you speak. Because confidence should not come from speed. It should come from clarity. And this mindset changes everything. You stop chasing perfect fluency. You stop fighting your pauses. You start focusing on meaning. And that's exactly what most teachers don't tell you. They teach rules, they teach tricks, but they forget the human side of language learning. So if you pause, correct yourself, or say and so on when you speak English, don't feel embarrassed. You're not failing, you're learning, all right? But what actually improves fluency? The first one is repetition, not new words. Okay, fluency doesn't come from learning more vocabulary. It comes from using the same words again and again. Most fluent speakers use simple words. So stop chasing advanced vocabulary. Start repeating common phrases. The second one and most important one is speak in chunks, not sentences. One of the biggest reasons people struggle with fluency is that they build sentences word by word. In their head, it sounds like this. Subject, verb, tense, article, preposition, and that takes time. Okay, and that time turns into hesitation. But fluent speakers don't speak like that. They don't build sentences, they remember them. Okay, they use what we call chunks. Chunks are groups of words that always come together and are stored in your brain as one unit. For instance, I think the main reason is, what I'm trying to say is, from my point of view, all I'm saying is, when you use a chunk, your brain makes one decision instead of five. That's why fluent speakers pause less. Not because they know more grammar, but because they think less while speaking. This is especially important for adults. Children absorb patterns naturally, but adults learn analytically. Chunks are a shortcut for adult learners. They reduce thinking time. But here's the mistake most learners make. They collect vocabulary. They don't collect patterns. And then they wonder why they can't speak fluently. Fluency is not built with single words. It's built with repeated phrases. So here's how you practice chunks. When you listen to English, don't focus on individual words. Focus on full sentences. Choose one chunk. Okay, just one. For example, I think the problem is, use it again and again. Today, tomorrow, next week. Make 10 sentences with the same chunk and not 10 new chunks. When a chunk becomes automatic, your fluency improves naturally. So remember this. Fluency is not about knowing more words. It's about using fewer words more often. Now let's talk about one of the most effective ways to improve fluency. Time-limited speaking. This exercise is simple but very powerful. You give yourself a time limit, for example, 60 seconds. You choose one topic, any topic, and for 60 seconds, you talk. There are only 3 rules. You don't stop, you don't restart, you don't judge yourself. And even if you make mistakes, you continue. At first, this feels uncomfortable. Your brain wants to stop, it wants to correct everything. But that discomfort is the point. This exercise trains your brain to continue speaking, not to speak perfectly. And that's what fluency really is. Fluency is not accuracy. Fluency is continuation. When you limit time, your brain has no space to panic. It learns to move forward, even when the sentence is not perfect. This is exactly what happens in real conversations. You don't get extra time to think. You don't restart your sentence. You just keep going. And that's why this exercise works. Here's how to practice it. Start with 30 seconds if 60 feels too hard. Choose a topic, simple topic, set a timer, and speak until the time is over. When the timer stops, you stop. Don't repeat the same topic immediately. Do it again tomorrow. Over time, something changes. Your pauses get shorter. Your confidence grows. Your brain stops freezing. Not because you learned more grammar, but because you learned to continue. So remember this. If you want better fluency, train continuation, not perfection. If you found this helpful, here's what you can do next. Try one exercise today, pick a chunk, or do a 30-second speaking challenge. 2, comments below and tell me what topic you spoke about or what your biggest hesitation is. And 3, subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss more tips to speak English confidently. See you. Peace.